This is also the National Institutes of Health, which last year proposed to amend their mission statement to exclude the word disability, saying it, quote, could be interpreted as perpetuating ableist beliefs that disabled people are flawed and need to be fixed. Let me take this moment to go on record. Folks, if I am ever struck blind or deaf or paralyzed, don't praise me, fix me. Small matters when activism merges with narcissism. Less about the cause and more about me. Look at me, watch me. And if you like the way I'm fighting injustice, remember to like and subscribe. When Adele lost weight, she was excoriated for betrayal. To who? She betrayed the unhealthy?
The outrage machine is spinning once again, and this time the far left is not targeting some villain. No, now they are going after people who are actually trying to fix real problems, because in today's activist mindset, helping only counts if it follows approved ideological rules. Bill Maher sees straight through that flawed thinking, and once he starts breaking it down, the entire act begins to look even more ridiculous. If you enjoy bold political takes with no filter, hit subscribe, leave a like, and let's jump in.
A Washington Post reporter tweeted, "What truly needs curing is society's view of disabled people." And BuzzFeed agreed, Mr. Beast seems to regard disability as something that needs to be solved. Okay, disability is something that needs to be solved. And what truly needs curing is blindness. Here's how I know this. The newly sighted people are cheering, not booing, because Mr. Beast, whoever the that is, just cured them and you didn't do You know the expression or go blind? You didn't either.
Maher does not ease into this topic. He goes directly at the contradiction and stays on it. In his view, the far left has created a culture where they get offended at anyone who tries to do something useful without their approval. They constantly talk about compassion, fairness, and helping others. But the moment someone actually takes real action, they start questioning motives. Their latest complaint sounds almost unbelievable. If someone helps people and records it for YouTube, they say the help is fake. But Maher cuts through that argument with a simple point. Where do they think the money comes from? It comes from YouTube. The videos are not separate from the charity. The videos are what fund it. That is why this outrage feels dishonest. It is not about ethics or kindness. It is about control and deciding who gets credit for doing good.
Public.
I don't get the woke. They love nothing more than being a victim, except when they really are one, and then they tell you, I am not, go f*** yourself. Get this. Last month, Mr. Beast, in another move, funded the construction of 100 wells across 5 countries in Africa to provide clean drinking water to 500,000 people. Good thing, right? No. Not good, bad. The founder of a charity called Face Africa called it kind of frustrating that overnight this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all of the attention. Yes, but you know what else is frustrating? Dying of thirst.
And this is where things become even clearer. The woke left often presents itself as the moral voice of society, yet it is never satisfied when results come from the wrong person. Mr. Beast funded 100 wells across 5 African countries, providing clean water to hundreds of thousands of people. Instead of celebrating that, some critics focused on the fact that he gained attention from it. Seriously. If someone is solving the same issue you claim to care about, bringing clean water and improving lives, the logical response should be support, not resentment. But that reaction reveals something deeper. When attention shifts, money can shift. When money shifts, influence changes. And when influence changes, control over the narrative changes too. That is why the outrage feels artificial. It is not about values, it is about ownership.
Mr. Beast, how dare he come in and bogart digging the wells? That's so white guy, always taking fresh water and shoving it down our throats. Oh, another thing this did in Africa was pay for the rebuilding of an African orphanage, which the director of the Hope and Homes for Children charity called it a classic case of white saviorism. So true. Ask any orphan to name the worst part of their life. Show-offs.
The more you think about it, the worse it looks. Society's problems were never going to be solved by governments alone, and definitely not by people more focused on appearance than results. Real progress has always come from people stepping in and taking action when systems fail. That is the bigger message Maher is making. Mr. Beast helping in Africa is not some fake savior story, no matter how critics try to frame it. It is a response to real human needs. Clean water is not political. Infrastructure is not symbolic. Rebuilding an orphanage is not a talking point. These are real actions that improve real lives. And when someone actually delivers that, the reasonable response is to focus on the impact, not question whether the person passed some ideological test first. But for the outrage crowd, appearance matters more than results every time. And that shows their true priorities.
How did we get to this weird place? Telling people who are actually out in the world making a positive difference, you're the problem. Yeah, quick question, who the f*** are you? And this isn't only the media and the people on Twitter who exist to bitch, always finding something. He just did it for the clicks, for the wrong reason. Or you should have done more, or sooner, whatever. You signed X. No.
Maher's words hit hard because they point out something obvious. Who made these people the judges of what counts as good? Why do they think they alone can decide which good action is acceptable and which one must be criticized? It would almost be funny if it wasn't so revealing. They do not create, fix, or solve problems, yet they are always ready to attack those who do. And the pattern is predictable. If someone outside their beliefs does something positive, they assume hidden motives. They assume it is for attention or selfish reasons. But if the same action came from their side, it would instantly be praised as meaningful and important. That is the double standard Maher exposes. Good actions should not be treated as suspicious just because of who did them. Good is still good, whether critics like it or not.
This is also the National Institutes of Health, which last year proposed to amend their mission statement to exclude the word disability, saying it, quote, could be interpreted as perpetuating ableist beliefs that disabled people are flawed and need to be fixed. Let me take this moment to go on record. Folks, if I am ever struck blind or deaf or paralyzed, don't praise me. Fix me. Don't sit around talking about how much I'm just as good as you. Fix me. Do something. Use AI. Invent something.
And Maher shifts to another example, and somehow the situation becomes even more extreme. He criticizes the idea that talking about treatment or improvement for disabilities is offensive because it suggests something needs fixing. His response is simple and powerful. If he ever loses his sight, hearing, or ability to move, he does not want praise. He wants a solution. That point works because it cuts through the confusion immediately. People with disabilities do not need empty compliments from those who think words matter more than reality. They need real support, care, access, treatment, and opportunities. But the outrage mindset hears practical help and somehow labels it as harmful. In that way of thinking, helping people improve is suspicious, while praising them for struggling is seen as meaningful. Real compassion is not pretending everything is fine. Real compassion is removing barriers so people can live better lives.
You know, there's so much faking this time of year between the presents you don't want to buy and the presents you didn't want to get and the goodwill toward men that lasts until January 2nd. I just don't have room for, and disability is awesome. It's not awesome, and it's not a political affiliation. That's the problem. We turn everything into a political identity category. You're deaf, that's your identity. Don't mess up a good thing by hearing.
And this leads to a deeper issue underneath everything. Today, everything gets turned into an identity, a label, or a political statement. Nothing is allowed to remain a simple human challenge. Disability cannot just be something people want relief from. It becomes a category. Helping others cannot just be action. It becomes a symbolic display. That shows how far things have shifted. Instead of focusing on real life, the outrage culture turns experiences into ideology. Labels become more important than the people living through them. Instead of practical help and real solutions, human struggles are turned into political symbols that must be defended and repeated. And once that happens, common sense fades away and is replaced with performance disguised as care. The problem stops being something to fix and becomes something to showcase.
When Adele lost weight, she was excoriated for betrayal. To who? She betrayed the unhealthy? The woke have even turned the homeless into a political identity group, as opposed to liberals, old school liberals, who just want to get them off the street, which now is seen as kind of judgy, like, don't disturb them in their natural habitat.
It is the same pattern that turns serious issues into performances. Instead of supporting real change, treatment, and solutions, the focus stays on appearances. When someone actually does something meaningful, critics do not join in to help. They step in to judge it. They analyze the tone, question intentions, and focus on how it looks. That is why so much outrage today feels fake. It does not solve anything. It only surrounds the person trying to help and tries to discredit them. It would be funny if the effects were not so harmful. While people focus on appearing morally correct, real problems remain unsolved. Real suffering continues. Real lives stay stuck. That reaction is not compassion. It is interference disguised as righteousness. Instead of solving issues, it turns everything into another performance where image matters more than action.
Small matters when activism merges with narcissism. Less about the cause and more about me. Look at me. Watch me. And if you like the way I'm fighting injustice, remember to like and subscribe.
The first responsibility of anyone who claims to care about a cause should be simple. Help people, fix the issue. Improve results, that comes first, everything else should follow. But today, activism often works the opposite way. Image comes first, praise comes first, performance comes first, and actual solutions are pushed aside. That is why Maher's point feels so strong. Turning activism into a show while the real problem remains is completely backward. It is about appearance, not real concern. People who are struggling do not need lectures about image. They need real support and real change. They need results. Real care focuses on outcomes. Fake care focuses on how things look. That is the difference Maher keeps highlighting. Helping people should matter more than creating a perfect image while problems continue.
Speaking of which, when I did the Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014, I thought I was helping the cause of funding research to cure ALS. Wrong again! An op-ed in Time magazine said the Ice Bucket Challenge even seems to be suggesting that being cold, wet, and uncomfortable is preferable to fighting ALS. It was suggesting no such thing. What is wrong with this country that so many people can't be happy for anything for even a second?
In the end, Maher's argument goes beyond just one example. Woke outrage has reached a level where anything helpful or positive gets attacked before it is even understood. If it cannot be controlled, it gets criticized. This is no longer about progress. It is about control and deciding who is allowed to do good publicly. That is why Maher's message connects so strongly. Real help matters, real solutions matter, and common sense should not be treated like something wrong.